Hi guys, today I'm going to be talking about the insulin pump. Not so much a set change because I already have that up on the channel. It's more um, features and settings on the pumps that need to be set when you get it. Um, so with the pump, on it you'll have the 3 buttons here and the 2 here. You can't see them because the way the lighting is in here. But that's an arrow up and an arrow down is what's there. There's a little symbol here, it's B, it's for bolus, so when you go to take your insulin, and that turns on the light and that puts up the sound. But when you're going to eat, so 5.6 would have been my bloods just there, and you can press this button here that says act, so that you go into the next option in the menu, which is how much carbs you're eating. So I'm not going to put in anything, but no, I will. I'll put in, just say if I'm going to eat 30 grams. So I put in I'm having 30 grams. It could be 1.5 slices of toast, or 1 slice of toast and a cup of tea or something with sugar. So you put that in, then you go to the next menu, which should say estimate details, 5 units for the 30 grams that I'm taking. And it says my bloods, the many grams, the food, the correction, if correction is needed. It'll say if I've no active insulin. At the bottom it says act to proceed, so that's this one, or escape, which is ESC on this, to back out. So I'm not actually going to take it, so I'm just going to press escape, so I won't have to take it. If I went on and pressed act, it would have come up for a 2-hour check. So it's a 2-hour reminder that 2 hours after you eat, you'll get your pump will vibrate or make a noise, and you check your bloods to see how high or low or normal you went after you ate your food. Another thing on this is in the menu, the second option down is suspend. So what that does is if you press into that, it'll come up suspend and press act. You, like, say if you're going for a shower, this is how you can take it off. Or if you're going swimming, or it was a real heavy exercising, as if you were at the gym and you were running on the treadmill and then you were going straight to weights, or that might not be the order you go in, but it's just heavy lifting or anything like that. You'd take it off you, so you suspend it first, that's what that does, and you take it off you, so that stops the insulin. You'll already have set the temporary basal rate, which I said in my last video with PE and pumps. You'll have it set with the basal rate, and then you go and you do the exercise or PE or whatever, and you can take it off if you think it's very heavy and you don't need the insulin for that hour and a half, and you just go and you don't need it. So you take it off, and so you'd suspend it on the pump, then you take it off from the little cannula in your stomach, your thighs, your bum or your arm, and then once the exercise is finished or the shower is finished, you put it back on immediately, and then the insulin will start flowing through again. On this menu it has a sensor, but I don't have a sensor, so I don't know all the details behind that. Part of the basal menu was the temporary basal rate, which I said last week. Then you have the options for basal review. So in this basal review, it's just my basal rates. So it's the insulin that flows throughout the day without the actual insulin for food on top of it. So when I go to bed, some of these are active. So from midnight till 4, I have what I set active then, and it's different amounts of units going in throughout the night. Then from 4 to 6, another one, it rises and then goes down every time. And then from 6 to 9 o'clock in the morning, from when I get up till when I go to school, I have a basal rate that covers me for breakfast. So it will coincide with my ratios, which I'll show you in a minute, with the basal rates. And I can change them with basal setup. It's the last thing on the basal menu. Reservoir and set. So this is like in the set change what you go into. So you have reservoir set up, and when you go into it, you can rewind this part, um, where the insulin goes, so that you can change your set. Then when you have it filled and stuff, you can go or drill it, done back, and the insulin's all in, ready to go. You fill the cannula, which is the second option, which will release 0.3 units of insulin into your system. Um, Utensils that are in it are utilities. So, I'm so sorry, I'm so bad. Utilities will have lock keypad, which is typically for when you go to sleep. I'll press that, so it says lock keypad on the top, and I press act, and I press act again, so that's it locked. Now that's for when you go to bed. So to unlock it, you press bolus and then the up button at the same time, and it says keypad unlocked. So if I was asleep and I accidentally just leaned on it some way that it was going to make me take insulin, that's really what that's there for. Then you have an alarm, which is the 2-hour checks. You can change them to 3-4 hours. The daily totals, so it tells you the daily average, like average to 10 days, if what your average of insulin and carbs. So over the last 10 days, I've had 248 grams of carbs altogether. Total of insulin is 76.475 units. Total basal over 10 days has been 35.550, which is 46% of the insulin that's in my system is that basal. Bolus is 54% of the insulin that's in my system. Yeah, and date and time is in there. Alarm clock is the 2-hour check again. Connected devices, so that's the blood's monitor again. You have to connect it up, so it'll Bluetooth over the blood, the reading, so you have it. Alright, I'll show you the carb ratios and the bolus wizard stuff. So the bolus wizard I have is on, so that's when you get the reading over, and you go and you use your carbs and put it in, and it'll tell you how much insulin to take, and it'll give you the insulin. So carb units is in grams. The ratios I have 3 different times. So from midnight till 12:30 I'm on 1 to 11. From 12:30 to 3 o'clock I'm 1 to 7.5. And then from 3 o'clock till midnight I'm 1 to 6. So it's for every gram I get, well, I think it's every gram I get 11 units, or no, every 11 grams, so like 1 to 11 I get a unit, and then the 7.5, every 7.5 grams I get 1 unit, and every 6 grams I get a unit. I think it was that way. Honestly, I can't remember. They told me that so long ago that it's either that way, or for every gram you get 11 units. But I don't think that's right, because I'd be taking nearly 30 units every time I go to eat. It shows the target, which I have it set for 5.6 to 7.5. That's typical what you need to be set to. And then above that is just getting into the high zone where you need to get your water and start sipping. So that's settings and stuff on a pump. So next week I'm talking about clinics up in hospitals and what happens there. So I'll be going through HbA1Cs, getting the weight done and the height and blood pressure and everything like that. And sometimes even getting blood taken so they test you for thyroid or celiac or anything like that. So see you guys next week.